Emerald doesn't exist. It has no release date and no information on what it is. The only thing they provided, which was months ago, was an image of a green metal. Emerald is like the crypto slash NFT of video games. Well, that comment aged like fine wine, guys. Anyway, today we're going to dive into 3.8. Sorry I'm a little bit late on it, but we're going to discuss all things the finals, so check it out. Sorry I'm a little bit late on this. I know 3.8 came out a couple days ago, Wednesday to be exact, but I was busy with life, but I wanted to delve into it now. So today we're going to check out all things the finals and dive into this update. So update 3.8 came out on the 7th, which I believe was Wednesday. I know it's been a couple days. Like I said, I'm late getting to this, but I just wanted to go over the patch notes for 3.8 and talk about all the changes that Embark has made to the finals with this update. With that being said, to start off, all things that glitter are not gold. Sometimes they're emerald, guys. So what that means is with this World Tour stop and this update, Emerald rank in World Tour is officially live, as I'm sure most of you have been grinding for. Now, there are some caveats to that. You do have to be gold 1 before you can jump into that finals button. It will still appear locked to you if you are not gold 1, and you will only be able to click on World Tour. So Embark lets us know that they finally released the finals tab for the World Tour for World Tour badge tier of gold 1. So gold 1 can move in to doing their emerald ranks. Everyone below, you will still have to grind out World Tour before you'll be able to move forward and progress towards your emerald tiers. So Embark says with this update that they're finally unlocking the finals inside World Tour for all players who have reached a World Tour badge tier of Gold 1. In this area, they'll be able to continue their badge progression past Gold and into the Emerald rank with unique rewards unlocking for each tier you achieve. Now, it's important to note that in this mode, so if you do have the ability to click the finals button as you are Gold 1, you will only win points for winning the entire tournament. You will not get points for anything else other than winning the tournament. So they say that this is truly a challenge for their most seasoned contestants to show off their dedication. They've also made a change regarding cash out in the World Tour. So when they made the 3.6 update, they took out the team wipe penalty and you did not lose any cash upon being team wiped. Super controversial in the finals community. Everyone on Discord and Reddit was losing their shit. And in this update, they have brought some penalty back. So moving forward into this next stop, which is the Dissen Challenge, they've updated this rule set a little bit. So they are reintroducing the cash loss on a team wipe to 10% of the total team cash. Now, I think this is still a little bit low. In my opinion, I think a good middle ground would be anywhere from 15 to 20%, but I'll take 10% over nothing all day, every day. That no penalty upon team wipe was not it, Embark. They do add an update here for clarity after releasing the patch notes, since it did cause some confusion. And they do say that for those that have already reached Gold 1 in the World Tour, to note that they are the only ones that have the finals tile unlocked, and thus the normal World Tour tile will appear locked. They state not to worry though, because you'll still be able to play with your friends and party up with them and progress along your emerald badges, even if they are not gold 1. Say they're gold 4 or they're in the silver somewhere. They do add an update here for clarity post releasing the patch notes, since it did appear to cause some confusion within the community. So they state that those for who have already unlocked and reached Gold 1 in the World Tour, to note that the finals tile is the only tile that is unlocked for them, and the normal World Tour tile will now appear locked. You'll still be able to play with your friends and progress along your emerald badges regardless of the badge level of your party members. So that means if you're playing with people who are still in gold 4, 3, etc., you can play with them. If you're playing with friends that are silver, you can play with them. With that being said, you're the only one that will only get points if you win the tournament. Your other friends will still gain points for every round that you progress up to the tournament win. So the old rule set will apply for them. The new rule set for trying to grind out emerald will apply to you. Balance changes and bug fixes in this update. There is a lot with 3.0. So we'll dive into that. Now with World Tour, we already talked about it, but teams now lose 10% of their cash on team wipe. The dev notes that the rule changes that they tested during the 3.6 update seem to have positive results, both within the community and the analytics data that they've been looking at. I don't know how that's possible, because literally everything I read on Reddit or Discord was negative about the no team wipe penalty. So I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm glad that they changed it regardless. They do state for the next World Tour stop, the Distance Challenge, they're going to keep testing this rule set, but with the team wipe penalties reintroduced to 10%, and they're going to continue to monitor and make changes to the game based on the feedback they're getting. So it does appear that they are listening to us, which is a good thing, but sometimes their decision making is questionable to say the least. They've also adjusted the number of points that you win during the World Tour tournament, whether you make it to round 2, the finals, or you win the tournament. So moving forward, the number of points that you win for reaching the second round of a tournament will increase from 5 to 7. The number of points earned from reaching the final will increase from 12 to 16, and the number of points earned from winning the tournament will increase from 20 to 26. The dev notes that the points are not accumulative, they do not stack, and they are awarded based on where you finish in the tournament, meaning that if you win a tournament, you'll get that 26 points. If you make it to the final, you get 16. You only make it to round 2, you get the 7. I don't know how this will play into the Emerald ranks. From what I've been reading on Discord and Reddit alike, with the Emerald, you only get 1 point per tournament win. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not Gold 1 yet, so I haven't been able to verify. But if that is the case, it is going to make grinding through the Emerald ranks quite tedious. If someone can drop a comment down below and let me know if that is the case, that'd be greatly appreciated, because I don't have a solid answer on that yet. As far as content and bug fixes, with animations, they fixed an issue where charged weapons would stay charged visually for spectators at times. With your characters, they've allowed watches to show properly when paired with the alien upper body cosmetic. In gadgets, they fixed an issue where goo would not stick to surfaces as intended. I feel like this is one of those notes that's in every single release when it comes to the gadget section. I always see something about goo not sticking to surfaces as intended. I don't know if this is a hard one for them to pinpoint, but it seems like it's a common theme when it comes to fixing issues within the game. Game modes here, basically what we talked about with World Tour and the finals tile and the ability to progress through the Emerald ranks now being live. Respawn tokens should now show the proper amount. I did not know that they were not showing the proper amount. Nevertheless, good that they changed that if that wasn't the case, because that could be detrimental, especially in a final round. If you're thinking you have 1 or 2 tokens left when you really have 0 or 1. So that is something that they do need to show the correct number for. Fixes to the weather being applied wrong. They've also made it so that the elimination sequence is now showing again before going into a new match. So you're not just getting an abrupt stop to anything. There will be that sequence that we had before. There have been fixes to the weather being applied wrong into the squad intro sequence, and they fixed the lights being too bright during the team introductions in some instances. Thank you, Embark, for this one, because this one I saw prevalently and it was bothering me to no extent. Anytime you would get into the team selection team, you were greeted with just a white blinding screen on your monitor. Heaven forbid you're in a dark room at night, similar to being flashbanged in Call of Duty. So I'm glad that they fixed this, and hopefully we don't have to see it anymore. I have, though, been seeing one where now we have the opposite effect, where the lights are dim. So now you get a really dark screen at the team selection, but I'll take that all day over that bright flashbang white light. As far as changes to maps, Kyoto, they have tweaked some of the respawn points to be more evenly spread across the entire map. I do think this is going to be good, because I feel like in this map, if you were contesting a cash out and you team wipe the other team and you're still defending it and they come back, it's like they spawned right next to it and they're there, bam. As soon as you get that notification that they're back in the game, 5-10 seconds later, they're right on top of you. I've even had instances where you hear the notification and I'll turn around and they're already coming down a hill or a stair, and you're like, okay, great. Yeah, they're right here already. So spreading everyone out should allow for a little bit more balanced gameplay, in my opinion. And they've also in Kyoto fixed that staircase, that god-awful staircase that was impossible to climb. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten stuck on that staircase trying to walk up to it. I've had to sit around and mess with it for a little bit, or heaven forbid, it's even got me killed a few times. So hopefully moving forward, we can climb those stairs. Everyone knows what stairs I'm talking about, and we're no longer getting stuck or unable to climb. As far as progression is concerned, they've added an XP boost when you're playing in a party. So what that means is players in a party of 2 will earn an additional 7.5% XP boost, and players in a party of 3 or more will earn an additional 10% XP boost towards their battle pass. I'm cool with this. I think it's a great idea to do when you're squadding up with your buddies, whether it's just one friend or two friends or more. For those of you having trouble with progressing through the battle pass, this will definitely make it a little bit easier for you. I know a lot of games already do something like this, so this is great that they're doing this here in the finals as well. They fixed an issue which could cause an infinite loading screen. Like I've said before, this one is on par with the goo not sticking to surfaces intended. Every patch notes, I swear, they have fixed an issue that could cause an infinite loading screen. And they even state with the dev note below it that this issue has been difficult to solve and they want you guys to make sure you let them know in Discord. I don't know why this is so hard to nail down. I think I've only experienced it once where I had to close out the game, but I know there are a lot of people having this issue. So hopefully they can nail this down, because in my opinion, for something that seems so simple, it should have been solved a long time ago. But I'm not a dev, what do I know? This could be the hardest thing in the world for them to fix. They've also fixed the connection issue where users who crashed in the lobby could be marked as abandoned, and which would lead to a faulty suspension. I've personally had this happen to me, and it's quite frustrating, whether the game freezes and I've got to close it and try to jump back in, or I'm just disconnected and sent back to the lobby. I'm not able to reconnect to the game because I have a suspension, which leads into the next point. They've added the ability for players who leave the ranked game to connect to their current game while suspended from matchmaking. I don't know if this means your suspension is going to end if you reconnect, but it's definitely a great quality of life improvement. If you're booted from the game for whatever reason, you have to shut it down because it's froze or something happened, and you leave and it's no fault of your own, I don't think that you should be suspended for that. So I'm glad that they've made this change. And lastly, they fixed an issue which caused contestants outside of the top 500 on the leaderboards to appear as unranked. I think we've all experienced this one. I know I have seen it for the last 2 weeks straight, so I'm glad that they fixed that issue. I do like to check my rank from time to time in Ranked TA and World Tour. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I know I'm a little late on getting this update pushed out, but I just wanted to hop on and go over all the changes that they made in update 3.8. I do think that Embark is slowly moving in the correct direction. I was a little uncertain after what they were doing with the changes in update 3.6, but it does appear that they are listening to us and taking our feedback into account, which is nice for a developer to do, especially as someone who grew up on games like Call of Duty. We all know that some developers do not give a shit about us as the player base. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Let me know your thoughts on the recent update 3.8 in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.